Alright guys, welcome back to Target One TV. Hope you guys are doing awesome. So we have, I don't know if I've ever shot this gun on the channel before. I've had this one for a little while. It's just a cheap, I think it's a youth, honestly, I think it is a youth model. Rock Island 22. So very basic. It does have a threaded barrel though. So that's pretty neat. But I just decided to put a scope on here. Now I did already kind of set the scope up for subsonic rounds, but I'm actually, you guys see my other 22 I really like, the Savage. That one's set up for perimeter subs. That's what I like to run out of it, and it loves running the subs. Shoots very accurate with subs. So this one, I'm gonna go ahead and set it with 22 standard rounds, standard velocity, which is we're gonna be shooting a Federal 40 grains out of it. And so let's dive into it and get to this basic kind of dialing in your scope thing. So, because I've been to the range a couple times, and people has actually come up to us or to me, and they have an issue sighting in their rifle. And most of those people are pretty much new beginners, which, as you guys know, I think a lot of people right now, even newbies, are really buying rifles and stuff with everything that's happening in the world nowadays, which is nothing wrong with that. So I feel like there might be a lot more people out there who needs to learn some of this basic information and needs to know somewhere to go. And plus, you might be watching my channel and you haven't watched anybody else's yet, so hey, even if, because there's probably some stuff on there about sighting in your scope, I'm sure there is, but you might be on my channel watching, so I'm going to pass on some knowledge, alright? So let's dive into it. A couple things is, I actually have a torso target set up downrange. Alright, so that torso target actually has markings in it, so I'll actually aim for that letter A. So there's a little tiny little A, probably about the size of my thumb, so that's going to be like my focus point. So if you guys are sighting in something and you're just shooting a piece of paper or a box, make sure you like mark it with something, whether it's a Sharpie or a little piece of tape, maybe something, you know, about thumb size. And what that's going to allow you to do is that's going to really allow you to focus in and focus on that one specific spot and not kind of guessing where you're aiming at. Yeah. So we're going to do that. I'm set up at 45 yards. You do not have to set up at 45 yards. Like I said, this thing was sighted in for subsonic rounds. So it should be, you know, on that torso size paper, I'd imagine. Now, if it's going off the paper, obviously I'm going to walk it in closer. And if you put a brand new scope and you've never sighted in before and you don't even know where it's at, you might start out at like 20 yards. And basically, as long as you can get them holes on that paper, you're pretty much, you're good to go. You know where it's hitting at, you can walk it in from there. But, you know, had an extra scope laying around, figured, hey, see if I can't mount this thing up. So that's what I did. Ran some subs through it for coon hunting. And but now, obviously, I'm switching up ammo. Now, whenever you're mounting your scope, there is different ring sizes. So make sure you get the right ring size that's going to fit your scope tube. And you can get these professionally mounted. I get Dalton to professionally mount mine with the long range rifle. But all my 22s and basic setup, stuff like that, I'm not worried about it, especially at like 100 yards. You can eye it up. It's not a big deal. But a couple things I do make sure that I'll do is the actual scope rings itself. When I'm cranking them down on top of the scope, I'll make sure that I'm trying to get even gap on each ring. So, because I don't want to crank down just one side on this ring, and then it's kind of going to, you know, max out right there, and then it's kind of pushing that scope to the side a little bit. So I'll make sure kind of doing a cross pattern, and I'll just go, you know, a few turns at a time, and then I'll look at the gap, make sure it looks about evenly matched up, and then do the same thing for the front scope ring. So you can do that and be just fine, and obviously make sure the scope's pretty much level. You can, like I said, you can do that by eyeing it up. So let's go ahead and let's send a couple rounds down there. And when you're sighting it in, make sure that you actually do. I think a lot of people that's come up to me and asked me and tell me they're having troubles. They're having troubles. Yeah, that's the word. I think. So a lot of people that come up to me and they were saying, you know, pretty much they're just shooting one shot or one round and going in there checking it, dialing it, shooting one more round. So the issue with that is you know, you might not be shooting that good, or your scope might be off. So usually I say do within a 3 to 5 round grouping before you adjust anything. And it depends on how comfortable you are. Usually I'll do 3 rounds. So, and what you're looking at is you're not just looking at each round pretty much where they hit at. You want to look at the actual group size. So you have, you know, 4 shots inside this circle right here. That's your group size. So pretty much now you just want to move the whole entire group down, right? Because if you, like I said, if you're just shooting one round, you might be shooting bad. Your scope might not be adjusted right. It might be bouncing around, and you're not being consistent with it. So that's one critical thing I think I've seen. This seems to be kind of a common thing out there. So I'm gonna shoot 3 rounds downrange, and I forgot my ear pro. So luckily for me, I got my 9mm. 9mm. Oh man, this thing's out there smeared up. All right, I'm not gonna shoot with glasses on. You should shoot with glasses though. Have all your pro. All right, chambered around, safety's on. Let's go ahead and we'll zoom in some. All right, so I'm gonna shoot 3 rounds, and we'll go down there and take a look at the grouping. I poured a little bit on that last one. I'm gonna fire one more. All right, guys, so actually was not bad. it was sighting for subs. I think honestly with those subs in there, I want to say around 50 yards. It might have been like 2-3 inches low, so maybe the standard velocity made up for that. It almost seems like it is shooting a little bit high. So I kind of cut a line right there. It's shooting a little bit high. So we'll see if we can't work it down and maybe over. There is, the majority of them is off to the left. That was the one I think I pulled on right there. So right now I'm just taping them up so I don't get my holes confused. That's what she said. Alright, so counterclockwise is up. So we're going to go, I need to bring it down, right? So I'm going to go, what was it, 50 yards? This is a 1/4 inch. Or 1/4. So I'm gonna go 3 clicks down, and I'm gonna go. Well, it was holding off. It was holding off to the left, right? So I need to go. I'm gonna go 3 clicks counterclockwise. Let's see where we're hitting at. Say it was not really sturdy, but I can make it work. And also too, when you're shooting out of a scope like this, it's really critical to make sure you have the same cheek hold every time. So wherever you place that cheek at, it needs to be the same every time. Unlike a red dot, wherever that pretty much that dot is pretty much going to be on target. So scopes a little bit differently. That's why it's critical to make sure you have a good hold on it, a good brace, and you're pretty much shooting the exact same every time. So I look good, right on it. 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one. I thought I pulled on that one, so that's why I went ahead and shot another one. So that's my grouping pretty much dead center. Not bad. I think I'm actually going to keep it there. So that was a quick little adjustment. Well, it wasn't too far off, so that's why it was so quick. So now what I'm going to do, as you can tell, I switched up positions a little bit. Now that we have it sighted in at 50 yards, so right now is, since I don't have mill doctors or anything like that to really judge, I'd like to know, some people, they sight it in, they think, okay, well now I'm good up to 50 yards. Well, or I'm good up to 100 yards, I'm good up to 200 yards. It really depends on your rifle and the ballistics on it. So obviously with 22, usually it's going to drop a whole lot, faster. So I'm going to actually, since I got it kind of zeroed at 50, I know I'm probably need to hold up, at 100. I could probably get a roundabout estimate, but at 18 yards, we're at right now. So, no, I'm sorry, like 15 yards I'm at right now. So now I'm gonna see how far how good it shoots up close. See where it's hitting at. So that way, if I'm out squirrel hunting or something like that, I can kind of judge the distance and say, okay, well this is 15 yards. I need to hold low just a little bit, or hey, I'm at 50 yards, I can probably hold 0, or I don't have to make any kind of adjustments and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to aim at the Charlie or the C. You can tell right here, 1, 2, 3 rounds all around the Charlie box. So I'm pretty much good to hold 0, even up close. And if you want to, like I said, it all depends on how far you're shooting too. So I got the target set up at 100 yards down there. It's actually like 103 yards to be exact, but close enough. So we know we're good pretty much from our 15 all the way out to our 50 yards. So now let's shoot a couple rounds and see where it hits at 100 yards. So now any imperfections are probably going to be more noticeable at this distance. The longer range you go, the more noticeable it is as far as imperfections. Now, of course, at a certain point, other stuff starts to play a factor, like the rifling and stuff like that. But ideally, this thing should be shooting left to right, at least should be shooting pretty decent. And we can honestly probably micromanage left and right if we wanted to at this distance and still be fine at closer range. But right now, really the only thing I'm really worried about is up and down and see where it's hitting at. So I was aiming right there. So I got 3 right here. That's my grouping. So shooting a little bit off to the right, probably go 1 click, maybe 2 clicks. Back to the left will probably be fine, but honestly that's not bad. I'll probably leave it right there. But so now I know pretty much from the center of my group to where I was aiming at, was that probably about 5 inches, something like that, maybe 6. Probably around 5, something like that, 4 or 5. So that's not too bad. So now I know that, obviously if I'm aiming at 100 yards at something, I might need to aim up that much higher. I guess that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this makes sense to you guys and might help some of you guys out, probably most of the people who's watching this channel probably already good at that stuff and fine with it. But hopefully there's some new people out there who's jumping on the channel who this might help out with. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this helps. Make sure to hit that like if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. And yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see next. And let me know what you think about it. So, see you guys next time.